Be it a pesky wasp or a bumbling bee, chances are that you've been stung by an animal before. And while the stings from these creatures are strong enough to send you reeling in pain, there are some animals that have the ability to put you in much more agony than your local insects ever could. So today, we're going to be counting these creatures down by giving you the inside scoop on the top 10 most painful animal stings in the world. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button, as your support really helps this channel grow. Number 10. The Executioner Wasp. If it wasn't already made obvious by its name, the Executioner Wasp's sting is, in every sense of the word, excruciatingly painful. In fact, it is so strong that even wildlife expert Cody Petersen, who makes a living off of getting stung by insects for audiences on YouTube, declared it to be the most painful sting he'd ever experienced in his life. Found throughout South and Central America, this wasp is not known to be overly aggressive. However, if it does sting you, then you can expect to not only experience painful swelling for many days afterwards, but also tissue necrosis around the site of the sting, which essentially means that your skin will begin to rot where the wasp's stinger punctured your skin. As a result, we'd recommend staying far away from this insidious insect. Number 9. The Blue-Spotted Ribbontail Ray. The Blue-Spotted Ribbontail Ray is easily one of the more infamous additions to this list, as it is this creature that killed famed animal activist Steve Irwin back in September of 2006. That's because while Irwin was filming in Australia's Great Barrier Reef, one stung him in the chest and pierced his thoracic wall, leading to his untimely demise. As a result, this species, which is found throughout the Indian and Western Pacific Oceans, is not to be messed with. And while it is typically quite docile and non-aggressive, if you do manage to make one feel threatened, it will not hesitate to use its stinger to delve out some potentially fatal pain. As such, despite it being one of the most popular aquarium stingrays due to its small size, we'd suggest steering clear of it next time you're at your local pet store. Number 8. The Arizona Bark Scorpion. While the deserts of Arizona may be a great place to go out and explore, we suggest keeping your distance from the scorpions that inhabit the area. That's because Arizona is home to the Arizona Bark Scorpion, which is widely considered to be one of the most venomous in North America. That's because their stinger packs a poison that typically leads to severe pain that lasts for anywhere between 24 and 72 hours, with victims also often reporting convulsions and numbness that make them feel as if they are being jolted by a bolt of lightning. And while the bark scorpion's sting has a relatively high mortality rate in children, the elderly, and the immunocompromised, an antivenom is widely available. As a result, if you can make your way to a hospital, then this scorpion sting can be neutralized pretty quickly. Number 7. The Platypus. At first glance, the platypus doesn't exactly seem like an animal that should be on this list. After all, due to it being a mammal with a duck bill and webbed feet, it really does look a little silly. However, what many do not know is that it is the only mammal in the world to feature a venomous stinger. You see, during the mating season, the males tend to create a venom that they deliver via spurs in their hind legs. And while the chance of being stung is unlikely, if you are, you can expect to not only feel intense pain, but also lowered blood pressure, increased blood flow around the wound, and residual aches that can last for many months after the incident. Yet, due to the fact that the platypus's venom is non-lethal, you can thankfully expect to survive a platypus encounter even if you do ultimately get stung. Number 6. The Tarantula Hawk. Although it is neither a tarantula nor a hawk, the tarantula hawk is arguably scarier than both of them. That's because this creature, which is in fact a species of spider wasp, typically uses its stinger to hunt and feed on tarantulas. As such, it shouldn't come as a surprise that its sting is exceptionally painful, with even a peer-reviewed scientific journal claiming that the best way to deal with one is to just lie on the ground and start screaming. Yet, despite the fact that its sting reportedly impairs all physical and mental control, it only lasts for 4 to 5 minutes, and afterwards does not require any medical attention. Regardless, we still suggest keeping your distance from them to avoid being forced to go through an exceptionally uncomfortable experience. While the tarantula hawk may be pretty scary, the underwater entry at the end of our list puts this creature to shame. So stick around until the end to get the inside scoop on one of the world's most poisonous animals. Number 5, the bullet ant. As its name suggests, the bullet ant is capable of delving out some serious pain. As its sting has often been likened to that of a gunshot. That's because this ant, which lives in massive colonies throughout the rainforests of Central and South America, is known to be one of the most venomous creatures in the world. That's because it packs a poison known as panerotoxin, which works to block synapse transmission in the central nervous system that then leads to excruciating pain, temporary paralysis, uncontrollable shaking, vomiting, fever, and cardiac arrhythmia. Yet, like the tarantula hawk, the pain stays localized to one area, meaning that you can be stung multiple times without actually dying as a result. However, we still suggest staying far away from any and all bullet ant hives on your next tropical rainforest expedition. Number 4, the lionfish. Despite the fact that the lionfish has become a fan favorite of aquarium owners, we still suggest perhaps choosing a different species next time you're at the pet store. That's because these fish, which are native to the Pacific and Indian Oceans and found as an invasive species in many waters outside of them, have a sting that is simply exceptional. That's because its venom, which is delivered via one of the 18 spines it has across its back, stands apart due to it being a combination of protein, a neuromuscular toxin, and a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. These work together to deliver a sting that's effects last for days, with the most common symptoms being extreme pain, sweating, respiratory distress, and even paralysis. To make matters worse, if you happen to have an allergic reaction to the sting, there is a chance that you could even enter cardiac arrest, which is often fatal. As a result, we suggest being extremely cautious in any scenario that involves interactions with this fatality-inducing fish. Number 3, the warrior wasp. As far as ferocity goes, few animals are as fearsome as the warrior wasp. That's because this insect, which is found in colonies throughout the forests of South and Central America, is known to be extremely territorial, as after making a loud drumming sound within its hive to stave off threats, it will, as a last resort, chase down and sting an intruder en masse with the rest of the colony. Now, if you are stung, you will not only experience an extremely sharp stinging sensation, but will also be injected with serotonin, which is the neurotransmitter popularly known for its role in feelings of well-being and happiness. However, the warrior wasp manages to turn these feel-good feelings on their head, as when it stings, the serotonin falsely signals the victim's brain to constrict its blood vessels as if it had a serious gaping wound, causing severe pain that is like none other. As a result, it is advisable that you steer clear of their hives at all costs. Number 2, the box jellyfish. Of all the creatures that you could possibly be stung by, few have stings that are as painful as that of the box jellyfish. And while 51 variations of the box jellyfish exist, all are similar by way of the fact that they are near transparent, squarish, have a box-like bell, and have tentacles that can grow up to 3 meters in length. Now, the more dangerous species of box jellyfish are primarily found in the warm tropical waters of the Indo-Pacific region, with Australia being a hotspot for box jellyfish stings. Now, if you find yourself being stung by one, the tentacles of the box jellyfish will adhere to your skin, pumping extremely painful nematocysts with venom into it. As such, if enough tentacles attach to the victim, then they often can be both heavily scarred and or killed by the influx of the venom. Therefore, in order to protect against these nasty jellyfish, it is recommended that divers wear a good diving suit, as the stingers only activate if they come into contact with your skin. Number 1. The stonefish. Put simply, few fish are nearly as good at hide and seek as the stonefish. That's because this creature, which is found throughout the Indian and Pacific Oceans, blends almost seamlessly into its habitat thanks to its dull rock-like color. However, if you happen to fall for its disguise, then you may just experience some significant pain. That's because if it is stepped on, it will release a powerful poison known as verrucotoxin from its 13 dorsal spines, with this venom typically inducing intense pain, respiratory weakness, damage to the cardiovascular system, convulsions, paralysis, and at times, even death. As such, if you are ever stung by one in real life, we suggest getting medical attention as soon as possible. That's all we have for you today, everyone, and thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments down below which animal sting you think would be the most painful. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button so that you never miss out on any of our latest content. Until next time.